Here's the mistake I see most Etsy print-on-demand sellers making when they are doing their product research. They find something that's selling really well, they go on and make kind of the same version of it, and wonder why their shop is crickets. But I have been studying what successful young Etsy shops are doing, and they are doing product research and applying it very differently. Their product research isn't giving them the exact blueprint, but it is a launching pad for them to create simple yet unique products to sell on Etsy, and it is working. These successful Etsy shops are finding what's selling, but they are going one step further and asking another question that's helping them create these unique products. Welcome to week 2 of the Etsy Summer Shop series. I am so excited to be diving in today to product research, but not only that, how to make your products stand out, especially as a newer shop. Last week in week 1 of the Etsy Summer Shop series, you figured out who you were going to be focusing on in your Etsy shop. And today I'm going to be walking you through how to validate demand for your products. And stick around because I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do this and how you can start doing this in your Etsy shop with just 15 minutes this week. Hi there, welcome back. My name is Emily. I am a busy mom of 2 and Etsy print-on-demand seller who has scaled her shop to over $900,000 in a few years. And I know better than anyone that summer can be a very busy time for you. So that's why I am running this series where you are able to keep progressing your Etsy shop in just a few minutes per week. Now, if you didn't catch last week's episode, we talked all about how to find a focus for your Etsy shop. So go ahead and watch that here if you haven't yet. And as always, don't forget to hit like or subscribe below so you don't miss a single weekly video. Now, in this week's episode, we are going to be going one step further. So last week you brainstormed your focus for your Etsy shop, and now we are going to be taking that to the next step. The biggest questions we are going to be answering today is, are there demand for the ideas that you have for your Etsy shop? And also, how do you actually stand out as a new seller on Etsy? All right, so let's dive right in. Now, I am going to admit to you that I'm a little bit of an Etsy research nerd. I truly enjoy digging into the data on Etsy and figuring out what is selling and what Etsy buyers are looking for. But when I first started selling on Etsy, I made a mistake that many new sellers do, and I see it all the time in the Gift Lab community. And this is a topic we talk about every single week in there to help give clarity to our members. And what happens is we will find something that's selling and really just recreate that best-selling product. But ours doesn't gain any traction. It doesn't get any sales or visits or favorites. And we're kind of left wondering, well, if it's working for them, why isn't it working for me? And I see this point of tension so often in these newer Etsy shops. And over time, what I really figured out is by the time you get to the point where you're going to recreate what's already working on Etsy, it's a little bit too late for that. And also, we shouldn't be copying anyone's unique designs either. Now, I think what happens is we get stuck in this pattern of chasing what's working out there when we should be pivoting and looking at it from a different perspective. What bestsellers are doing on Etsy is finding a way to create something unique, to find a gap in that market. And I know that sounds really fancy. I remember hearing that when I first started and thinking like, well, that feels really difficult to do. And so today I want to break down this idea of finding a gap in the market and how simple it can really be. These best-selling shops, these new Etsy shops that are making sales, they aren't looking at other best-selling products and thinking, oh, how do I make this? But they are thinking at it from a different perspective. How can I create something unique that's not already out there? All right, so we are going to dive into what this research process actually looks like. But one thing I want to start with is that I think many of us get stuck on what are called keyword scores. I can't tell you how often I hear the question, what keyword score are you looking for before you decide it's a good idea to sell it? Now, my research process looks very different from this. And again, this is something we're talking about in the Gift Lab community every single week. Looking beyond the keyword scores to see what's actually selling on Etsy, to widening our perspective. Because sometimes if we get stuck looking at these keyword scores, we would not list many products. Some of my best-selling products, I would not list if I was just relying on keyword scores. So we're going to dive into Etsy using the EverBee research extension to show you how to look at this from a bigger, more holistic perspective, as opposed to just relying on green or red bars. Okay, let me show you exactly how I am doing this. Now, if you were to look up the keyword score for something like teacher journal, the numbers don't look very promising. It appears to have a lot of competition and not many searches. But I want to display to you how using the EverBee extension can show us a bigger and clearer picture about what is actually selling and if there's room at the table for you to make sales. So we are here on Etsy and I'm doing just a simple search for teacher journal. Now, last week, let's say in week one, you determined you really wanted to focus on maybe teachers or career gifts. And so this is a starting point for you. So let's say we're looking up teacher journal. And a couple things that I love so much about the EverBee extension, I have used it truly since day one in my Etsy shop, is that there is an on screen view snapshot of how that product is doing. So for example, we can see here this custom teacher appreciation journal is only 3 months old and is making over 194 monthly sales. Now, I will caveat that with we are just coming out of the end of the school year time, teacher appreciation time. So of course, this is the peak season for these. But again, if we relied just on those keyword scores, we probably would have avoided this idea altogether. But they are obviously showing us that even with a younger listing, that is very possible. Another example I want to show you is this journal here, which is specifically for Christian teachers. And this listing is only 2 months old and making 80 plus monthly sales. So again, we are seeing validation that there is number one, demand for this product on Etsy. Again, we wouldn't have gotten that from just a keyword score. But looking here, we can validate that there is absolutely demand for this product idea. The other thing we are learning from doing this is that even listings that are relatively young, so let's say 2, 3 months old, those are making big sales, which is a great indicator for us that there is room at the table for us. Now, I also want to show you with EverBee another great way to kind of look at this information. Over here on the left-hand side, you can select product analytics, and that's going to bring you all of those results in a table format. So if this is an easier way to look at this information, you can also do it this way as well. Something else I really like to do is to sort by shop age and also put the youngest shops first. So for example, we can see that this listing here, which again is that Christian Teacher Journal, this shop is only 5 months old. So that is a green flag for us that there is opportunity here in this space because we want to look at shops that might be a little bit younger. And if they're able to break in to this product and into this market, that is a great sign for us that there is room at the table for us as well. So just to recap, when we go onto Etsy, we want to do a search, a general search as I did for Teacher Journal. We want to make sure that number one, there is demand. Are there products that are selling? And then the other thing we want to do is guarantee that there is room at the table. So looking at younger listings, looking at shops that are younger in age, and that's going to give us a green flag that there might be an opportunity here for us. So I mentioned earlier that those new shops that are making big sales are asking themselves one more additional question besides those first two research questions. And that one is, how can I make something unique and different and fill that gap? And again, I know that sounds a little bit scary. It sounds like that feels like a big idea or concept, but it truly doesn't have to be. So I want to illustrate for you how some of these shops are doing that and being able to create something just slightly different and bringing that to their customer. All right, here's a very simple example of this. So this shop is only a year old and they have had this product really start to take off. Now, I always want to say, please, please, please do not copy any of the products that I'm sharing. Number one, it's not going to benefit you. And number two, we want to be respectful of these sellers' intellectual property. This seller did such an incredible job of doing something so simple, but providing something unique. Now, you may have seen in our search, there are a lot of trending products right now with this new chapter book theme idea. We are seeing it in so many places on Etsy, and that has been continuing to rise over the last year. What they simply did was bring that concept over into the retirement niche. They made a journal that was super simple, very, very specific, but took that trend that's happening in all these other places and brought it to a product very specifically for the retirement niche, and particularly for women who are retiring. I love this example because I think it's a perfect visual of how they're creating something just slightly unique. It's not some grand big idea that they created on their own, but what they simply did was looked at the things that were selling and brought that over into their specific customer and their niche. So I want you to think about your focus that you created last week and that you decided on. And when you're doing your research, think about, are there trends or design elements or ideas that I can then bring into my product? And you can see this listing is only a few months old. It's already a bestseller and it is selling quite a bit right now, especially in these months where retirement season is really big. All right, and just for fun, I'm going to give you one more quick example that is a little bit different and outside of the box. And you may have seen on Etsy that this later gator after a while crocodile theme is huge right now. It is very trendy. You're seeing it pop up in PNG shops and kind of all over the place. And this started with kind of this more general design. And what I love so much is that there have been some really clever sellers out there who have taken that trend. Again, they've taken it from over here and applied it to their specific customer. Here is an example of that. So this person took the later gator idea and applied it to the last day of school for teachers. And this listing has only been up about 2 months and it has been selling like crazy. And it is a perfect example to show you how you can take this concept and create something unique. They discovered, yes, there's demand for end of the school year shirts. There is opportunity there. And how they created that opportunity was by using this idea, this trend that they saw over here, and brought it into the teacher niche. And this is the power of asking that third question when you are doing your product research. So, just to recap, my 3-step research process that I want you to follow is number one, doing a search on Etsy using the EverBee extension and verifying that there is demand for that idea. Are there bestsellers? Are there products selling? Number two, I want you to look at, are there newer listings or newer shops that are making sales in that space? Just showing you and validating that there is some opportunity at the table there. And then the third thing I want you to look at is, how can you kind of find a unique lane in that space? How can you bring a design idea that's happening over here and bring it to your customer? How can you use a trend and incorporate it into your design? How can you create something different? It doesn't have to be this huge different idea, but just different enough that you are able to stand out. Now, for this week's Summer Shop Challenge, I have one task for you, and that is really to take that idea that you generated in week one. What is your person plus moment that you are going to be focusing on? Is it teachers? Is it hobbies? Is it sports? Is it dads? Whatever that might be, take that specific person, and I want you to start doing this research process in Etsy and following the demand. Then looking for, where is a little bit of a gap that I can bring to my product. And the best part is, in next week's video, in week 3 of the challenge, we are actually going to be applying this to our design process. And so I will be walking through an entire design with you and how we can make that most efficient as well. And if you are interested in trying EverBee, I will include a link below for you as well. And I can't wait to hear all about your product ideas. So please feel free to share those in the comments also. Don't forget to hit like or subscribe so you don't miss the next video in the weekly challenge. My name is Emily, and I look forward to seeing you next time.